Greetings, one and all. Love Them Knives channel here. Check out my Instagram, and you're on my YouTube channel, so subscribe or else. We're going to talk about Olight having an O knife. And Olight is like a complete life for many of us flashlight enthusiasts. It's like people calling out, get a life, buddy. You're way too deep into lights. But now you can be into an knife. And they had the Drever and the Splint and this and that. I like this. I think this is my favorite so far. I'm a sucker for a harpoon type shaped blade, so that's good. And this one is the Beagle. Hold on, Beagle is a dog, right? So hold on, the only Beagle I remember is Snoopy. Now Snoopy was a Beagle. Snoopy's a dog. Snoop Dog. Oh my God, I just realized Snoopy is the original Snoop Dogg, and the other guy's just a poser. Yikes. And gotta say this for Snoopy, he's an excellent pilot too. I mean, a World War I fighter pilot. So, yes, he did service for our country as well. So we love, how do we go Beagle all the way down this road? I don't know. But yeah, this is 154 cm steel, okay? That's pretty good steel considering this is going to be on sale for $60.76, okay? So that's pretty respectable. Deep carry pocket clip. You know, you slide this in your pocket. For those of you're not knifed up, you're kind of Olight fans instead or whatever. So slide it into your pocket, and the good thing is the screws here that hold the pocket clip on are flat, so they're not stepping up. And you know, there's a lot of knives that have screws that are high like that. They're kind of in the space your pocket, the lip of your pocket needs to travel. So these are flat, and you can go left-handed. So if you're a left-handed person, you can flip the clip, okay? G10, it's a synthetic material, very corrosion and chemical resistant, and grippy because, yeah, it's got good texturing here. So it's not a real big knife, but it's not a real small knife. It's like a 3.3 inch blade, harpoon type shaped, dual thumb studs, so ambidextrous in that regard as well. And it locks up with the steel liner that pops in behind the blade when it opens, as you can see. Boom, then it just springs over that way. About 35% lockup. Here's the pass-through. Here's jimping. So it's easy for you to push your thumb there and just let it drop. And it drops. One thing I've noticed about this, wow, it drops. It really drops. I was a little worried, like, how is it so guillotine-ish? And I checked it to say, have we got wobble on here? And you know what? We have a little bit now, too. I've been flipping it so much. Yeah, I'm going to disassemble this, and then when I put it back together, I may put a little thread locker or something on it, because this is starting to unscrew with how much I'm fidgeting with it. See, now it doesn't, it's not so guillotine-ish, okay? But still got a great drop to it. And you want to look to see the blade is centered, and it is centered. And there is no play now, and there's no lock rock. And I see the designer's name as Azo here. And to me, then that's a guy who's an in-house designer for Kaiser Cutlery. So Kaiser, yes, they make really good knives, and usually they're lesser expensive, or they're more budget-oriented knives. They're called their Vanguard series. So to me, that speaks a lot too to this knife. It's got jimping up here, so you can kind of reach up here and get close. This is a little sketchy to try and get your finger up here because you don't want to get on this cutting part. And, by the way, it does cut, okay? It's sharp out of the box, so beware. You know, knives are kind of like that now. Drop it. Now you can kick this thing open by coming up with your middle finger here behind this thumb stud. Boom, you could kick it open that way. But you can also just take your thumb and kick it open. There's no flipper tab or any other thing to open it. So you got the thumb studs, that's what you got. I'm not sure if you got enough. Oh yeah, okay, so you have enough contact. Even if you want to take your middle finger out further and kick it open, you can do that without using the thumb stud. That's because the detent's not overwhelming. It's where it needs to be though. If you're gonna finger flick a knife, you don't want that detent to be too tough. And detent is a result of a round detent ball that you might or might not be able to see in there that drops into a hole in the blade when it's shut, and that's why the blade doesn't fall out of the handle. I'm going to disassemble this and you can see all the parts. That way you can get familiar with what's going on with this knife. So right hand, left hand pocket clip, flat screws on it. Blue hardware, it's okay. I'm okay with that. Some people want it all blacked out, or they just think blue looks cheesy. I don't care. I'm fine with that. You know, good and grippy G10. You got steel liners here on the knife, so you got strength there for that lock. Although you should never, you know, totally trust a lock. You always ought to be careful on any folding knife, because technically any lock is capable of failing. And then you got a lanyard hole here. Now, you don't have a back spacer, but that's okay. It's an open design, should be easy to clean and maintain. I can't feel the blade through here, so that's good. And blade to handle length is really good. It takes it all up. And the design flow is nice because this flows right into the bolster. You don't see the back of the blade or weird things. And then this flows right into the tail. So it's a nice design flow. Nice contouring around here as well on both sides. Fit and finish feels good. It feels good for a budget knife. It just feels good, period. So that's fine. And it's not very expensive. It comes in a box. Kind of looks like this. Oh, is this, hold on. Oh, is this, never mind. I thought this was the one where the bottom fell out. Bottom fell out of my brain, that's all. Okay, so in here, there's a big long letter, Dear Crazy Person. Okay, and then there's your Velcro pouch. Oh, by the way, why does this pouch still feel kind of heavy? Oh, here you go. Extra EDC gear. Just cool factor stuff that you can run around with. Okay, there's the front of this coin. And of course, this is solid 24 karat gold. So really, the $60 is well worth it when you get, I'm just kidding you. Okay, Outdoor Elite Oknife. And then on the back, Beagle. Not a picture of Snoopy at all. It's kind of weird. Just the knife. Okay, but that's just, it's cool. And you get one of those, it seems like with every knife. I got one with the splint and the driver and whatever. So, and it goes into a separate, see that separate pocket back here? So you just put it in there and you go, yeah, baby, I'm cool. Okay, now, next, what's this? More gear? Oh my God, is there no end to this super value I'm getting here? Okay, what is this? This is like pull here. Okay, you get a microfiber cloth and then something that insults you. I'm sure. This is a knife. It's called the Beagle. This is how long it is. Well, at least they give you this. There's your dimensions. Fold, unfold, lock, unlock. Please try and read this. No. Okay. So, I mean, it seems like you get the coin, you get the knife. What more do you want? That's pretty cool. And the fact that it's an Oknife, Olight Oknife, and then you can start collecting all of these, man, right? I mean, you're in on the early end. Get the driver, get the splint, go back, get all that, and then have the whole bunch, and then the coins too. So, I mean, I kind of dig the coins. I think that's a nice addition. And come on, get back here, buddy. And there we go. Crush it back. And then this slides in here. Nice fit. Well, at least the box is pretty structural. There's the print on that side. Nothing on that side. Here's the stuff underneath. And it kind of gives you a synopsis right here. Let's line this up. Right here. Okay. G10, 154 cm, blah, blah, blah. So, ergos on this, pretty straightforward because, big finger go in here, small fingers go there, you're good. Reverse grip feels even better, actually. And a little breakaway here, which is kind of nice as far as I'm concerned. When I go to either strop the knife or sharpen the knife, I like kind of a little break in there. So, yeah, I appreciate that as well. So, should be good piercing, slicing. It's not the slicing champion because the grind, it's not like a full flat grind all the way to the top, but it's pretty reasonable. If you want to compare it to something like a more commonly recognized and owned knife, like the Spyderco Paramilitary 2, Spyderco Paramilitary 2 is 8 1/4 inches overall length, okay? But this is not that big. This is a 3.5 inch blade. This is a 3.3 inch blade. And let's go down that path right here. Okay, so yeah, 3 3/8, and of course 3 4/8 would be 3.5, but 3 3/8 and about 85, 86 millimeter length blade. Right here it's 7.5 inch at 19 centimeters. And then blade stock, well, is it 3 millimeter, 2.5, 3.5? What is it? It's 0.11, so it's probably 3. Yes, it is. 3 millimeter blade stock, almost 12 millimeter thickness at 0.46 of an inch. So really the thickness is the same thickness as the Paramilitary 2 knife is, okay? But what's the weight? And let's put it on the scales because, how much weight you can have in your pocket if you put this in your pocket. 3.46 ounces as opposed to a full-size EDC. This is almost 4 ounces. So almost a ½ ounce lighter, well, actually a ½ ounce lighter at 98 grams, okay? So I like it. It's pretty straightforward. It's sharp. It's grippy. It's got great action. The only thing I've found on this knife, and it's not negative necessarily, it's just watch for this because if it starts really getting guillotine-ish, then check the pivot to see if it's actually engaged and then look to see that the knife is centered. You may have to tighten this up. And if you have to do it more than once or whatever, then you could put on a little bit of thread locker on these threads and then screw it back in, let it set so it won't start unwinding. Don't put anything too much in there though. Okay, so just put a fairly low strength thread locker on there and it should hold. Here's my balance on the knife. So that's good. Yeah, nice design flow. It's all right. So let's throw down the work rag, and yes, this comes right out very easily, but you know, maybe almost too easily, so maybe a little bit of help there. Let me see what we got under here. Okay, nothing really. I was wondering if we had some. Oh, well, you can look in the knife and you can see a little flat spot on that pivot coming through there, and that is probably engaging one of the liners and keeping this from turning, because if both are engaged and it's just a perfectly round pivot, it could just continue to spin and you wouldn't be able to unscrew it. So that's a good thing. These other body screws on here are probably number 6 Torx screws, as opposed to the pivot being a number 8 Torx screw. So you need to have 2 different size bits to take this knife apart. And come on, baby. You can, oh, well, I've got the pocket clip still, and I never took that, and it really shouldn't matter. It'll just take the whole damn scale off, though. That's the problem. And so here's the, I didn't separate the scale from the liner here because I didn't unscrew the pocket clip. Okay, but otherwise you get to see, here's the lock bar that's springy, that springs open behind the blade and locks it in place, and it looks like a ceramic ball there, so that's ceramic. Now let's check out the actual bearings, because they are bearings here in a ring, and these bearings, yeah, they're ceramic. Okay, so they won't rust. At least you got that, right? Okay, so take them out, and here's the pivot that came through from the front. Okay, but it's got a square spot on it, which corresponds to kind of a squared off area right there. So when this goes through back to reassemble it, the square spot on the pivot has to line up with the square spot on the liner to go through there. But then that means it's not going to turn. Okay, so that's a good thing. So here's our disassembled knife, and it's not very difficult to understand. See the blade here? It has this little divot here, and when it comes around and this little ball fits in there, and that's what holds the blade when it's closed into the handle and keeps it from just falling out. So that's what we call detent. And how firmly does that ball hold this blade in there? How difficult is it to deploy? So that's in case you're not, knife person particularly. Now, to reassemble that, and then you go, what's this pin here? Well, this pin, they stick it in here. It is something that is used, fits into here, if I don't throw it on the floor again now. And when the blade rotates around, it will hit this and stop it from traveling either further open or further closed. So you got to have that. Sometimes the stop is actually built in here, but in this case, no, it's an external blade stop, as we call it. And let's put the bearings on here. And I'm putting a little bit of lubrication on there, just for the heck of it. You can see the blade stop is built to stop the blade from traveling, otherwise it may hit these standoffs. So it's there to stop, and then when you open it, it's also there to stop it, okay, in the right position, or at least in the desired position. And Then we have the liner that's still attached to the G10 scale, so we can pop that on. And let's see if we can get these in the right place. Okay, we got them pushed into the correct position. We want to put the pivot screw back on. Make sure you get the threads lined up. And then we have a couple of body screws that need to go back in here. And this is a different size Torx bit, number 6. Okay, that's enough. I think we got them both tightened up. And hopefully we didn't over tighten the pivot. You don't want to over tighten this screw. You just want to have it adequate, and I don't have it adequate. It's probably not even lined up. Yeah, it's not. I need to put a little bit more juice to it. Okay, let me see. Are we centered up now? Yes, we are. Now we have it too tight. Okay. Okay. Now we got it just about how I want to have it. And is it centered? Yes, of course it is. Okay, we got the Beagle from Olight. It's an O knife. And yeah, it's a lot of fun to fidget with if you don't have any cutting tasks. But whatever else, sometimes just a fidget factor is in and of itself a lot of fun. I will let you go. Check it out on Olight site, the Beagle. And you know what we do? We love them knives, so you guys stay sharp.